Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's about that time that we get this show on the road. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back as always. But of course, we started off with the intro video, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after a little bit. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome everyone back to the GT Champions Porsche Cup. I hope you guys are ready and set to go. I am your host, Just Gaming Real, also known as Justin Silva, whichever you guys prefer. And we actually have a special guest here in the comms box. Of course, a team of RWB, who has powered GT Champions, RWB Cupcake. How you doing, my man?
I'm doing good there, Mr. Silva. I cannot wait until this race at Laguna Seca.
Honestly, I am excited. Just excited as you, my man.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I did a couple laps while we were getting the stream set up, and this car is loose as a goose on this track. And factor that in with, you know, kind of the nighttime atmosphere and, you know, thank God there's no rain. This is going to get really exciting.
Well, honestly, I hope these drivers are ready as they get out there, as we're just seconds underway. They're actually already out there on the track here, ladies and gentlemen, as they're currently doing their qualifying. But of course, as Cupcake has said, we are here at the WeatherTech Raceway, here at the Laguna Seca for round 2 of the Division 1 Porsche Cup, powered and presented by both Hi-Pre as well as RWB Racing. And let's actually look at the cars that these drivers will be in tonight. So of course, if you guys are viewing this from around the world, I want to welcome everyone from the GT Champions community, as well as 12 Ounce Sports Network. I want to welcome everyone from there as well. Hopefully this is going to be a good one. And while we're actually doing this as well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just trying to get the lobby ready and set to go. But of course, here at the WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca, here for May 21st, is going to be a tough one here, in my opinion. Actually, it's going to be tough. I actually have raced at this track, a very historic track actually for the Gran Turismo games over the past few years. And I gotta say, as Cupcake said, the Porsche 911, where it's very rear heavy, as well as a track like this, where you want to be in a front heavier car, especially at the downhill hairpin in the middle of the track in Sector 3, is going to be tough for these drivers. But let's see if these drivers can make it until the end. Cupcake, we're here for a good one. I can definitely tell you that.
Yeah, I can't wait. And I can't wait to see how these drivers are going to react racing around, not only in such a tight pack, but when coming up to that dreaded corkscrew. That quick left-hander, right-hander, downhill, the rear ends. I don't know how they're going to be able to pull it off.
They might have to do a little bit of they're probably going to be wheeling it down like a motorbike, just going on the back wheels, because with this car being a heavy rear end, if you mistime that just by a slight second, you're going into the gravel, and you're probably going to be stuck there until the end of time at this point. But of course, these drivers have done their practice. Let's see if they are ready and set to go for this one.
Yep, and I'm just getting word now that they're going to start qualifying here any second. They just opened up the lobby.
Yep, we both actually joined in at the exact same time. So ladies and gentlemen, let's actually go down to the drivers on the track and let's see how they are doing. We actually have a pretty good turnout so far. Still a few drivers still yet to choose their Porsche 911s as we hear that beautiful engine drive all the way past. Of course, here, ladies and gentlemen, just to remind you guys, if you guys are just queuing in, welcome to the GT Champions Porsche Cup, as we are here Of course, the driver is driving in a Porsche 911 RSR 2017 model, and we're at Laguna Seca, and it's gonna be a tough one for these drivers. Two times the wear, no requirements at all. They can use softs, mediums, or hards, even intermediates or wets if they feel to challenge themselves. And it's actually a bit cloudy here in the WeatherTech Raceway for Laguna Seca, so we actually could be seeing a mixed setup here tonight. So let's see how these drivers take it. Of course, 2 times the fuel consumption, but for the qualifying rules, all drivers can use whatever tire of strategy they want to set their fastest time in practice, and that will set the grid, of course. So, and whatever tires that they use in qualifying, that is the tires that they have to use at the beginning of the race. So, Cupcake, you've been out there on the track here with some of these drivers and GT champions. What would you say would be the best strategy for those drivers out there when it comes to the pit strategy?
Well, you know, it depends. If you're gonna start more towards like the rear of the pack, honestly, you know, if I was in that situation, you know, mid-rear, I'd start on mediums. Obviously, if you're up front and you want to get a good start, definitely go with softs. Try to break away from the pack as quick as you can, preferably before you hit that corkscrew, because that's the last thing you need to be in, is, you know, a 3, 4, may I say 5 driver battle for position going into a corkscrew. So, you know, that's how I would base it. But, you know, these guys, we're in Division 1, they're the cream of the crop. I'm sure they've got a better strategy than me. And,
well, let's see.
Just my personal preference, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see. PX John, he just did his first qualifying lap, setting a 122.9.
Ooh, well, let's actually get out there on the track to see how these drivers are doing, actually. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys are new to the community, please follow all of the GT champions on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook as well, if you want to join us in the Discord to get yourselves involved. And if you want to get all of the information of GT champions, please make your way down to gtchampions.com to get all of the information when it comes down to all of the different leagues that we run here. We actually finished the World Cup series a few weeks ago, actually not a few weeks ago. That was actually, no, yeah, it was a few weeks ago in it for the All-Star, where we had that disconnect from me, so I do apologize for that as well. But we'll try and get that back up as soon as possible. I'm not too sure if we have that back up as of yet, but the thing is, actually, back to what you were saying, Cupcake, with the strategy. If I was any of these drivers, I would go straight with the softs. I want to get as far away as possible from any of those drivers, just to ensure myself a huge lead in the race. Because if you get that early start, you know that you have that pace compared to the other drivers. That's going to give you more confidence, more momentum, and that's going to keep you pushing all the way until the end. But of course, we're actually currently on PX7 John, and he's actually making his way up to that corkscrew that you're talking about, the chicane. And Cupcake, I don't know if you saw this as of yet, but these cars could actually go airborne when they go down that hill, just because it's so rear heavy.
Yeah, I caught that on our Discord channel, and that's pretty wild. So I wonder if someone's gonna catch enough air to where they just go yeet in their car. Oh,
there's John.
Yeah, John got a little too hot there, coming in hot.
Little bit too much juice on the throttle with that one. But let's see how Distinct Blaze does, and you can see all of these drivers, and this is Division 1, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of these drivers are struggling to keep the front end on the concrete, and that is just one characteristic about this car. It's just with that heavy rear, of course, a rear engine. It makes it so difficult, especially at a track like this, where these drivers, I hope, they've done weeks and weeks of practice when they first saw that calendar, because I think this might be the toughest race that they've had all season. Well, for the
Yeah.
entire season, I should say. All season, yeah. This is the first race, as Division 1 was actually canceled last week as we had technical difficulties with the lobby. So this is actually technically their first race, but it is round 2. We will do round 1, hopefully at some point. But yeah, so far. Well, actually, let's say this, right, Cupcake? What is your opinion on this track? To be honest with you, just plain out, how would you describe this track in like five words?
Okay, 5 words. Chicane. Or no, wait.
Well, not characteristics of the track. I'm talking about your opinion.
Oh yeah, I know that this is gonna be my opinion, and I'm just gonna describe it in 5 words. This track is sandy.
This track is
Yeah.
sandy.
Well, yeah,
Well, you need the 5th
yeah.
word, so I'm guessing this track is sandy cheeks. Oh,
Yeah, close enough. Nah, in all seriousness though, this track offers little, and I mean little, room for error. I mean, I'm currently watching Luke, who is sitting in P10 at the moment, and you can just see all the sand around you. One tiny little slip up, you're out there building sandcastles. I don't care what anyone says. You're gonna be out there stuck, and you're gonna lose so much time. And
well, I mean, it does work actually because you have the gravel, so you can make your foundation of that sandcastle in it.
well, yeah, you could.
But yeah, if I would describe this track in 5 words, I'll probably say 3: difficult, traumatizing, and challenging. Even though they practically are the same 3 words, same meaning. But the thing is, it's just that, like, it's so difficult. You have like where Lucas is right now, actually, with turn 1 and 2. That downhill hairpin, very difficult. Same here with turn 3 as you enter sector 2. It's just trying to get that car to have the traction. These drivers are really gonna struggle, and I don't see any of them like getting at least a perfect race. I don't see any of them getting a perfect race because, don't get me wrong, these drivers are extraordinarily quick. They are extraordinarily consistent, and as we just saw Lucas having himself a little bit of a spin in the gravel, and this is Division 1, ladies and gentlemen. And this just shows just how difficult this track is, especially in this car. I think all these drivers are going to struggle when it comes to the tire wear, especially on that front end, when it comes down to the fuel as well. And I think if they even ever try to have a battle, that's just going to make it even worse. It's going to be a whole can of worms that we do not want to open.
Yeah, and with this track too, you've got a lot of turns that are very deceptive. Like, you know, you were talking about turns 3 and 4. Turns 3 and 4, they don't look that bad. But if you don't nail that braking marker or that braking point, you're going off-road.
You're going directly off-road, yeah.
And you know, like I said, it looks like you could take it, you know, 3rd, 4th gear, it would be, you know, fine and dandy. Reality, you gotta take it in like almost 2nd gear.
Of course, yeah, and it's gonna be tough as well. Or at least you'll probably go 2nd gear speeds in that 4th gear so you can get some sort of traction. And I mean, as we just saw, Lucas, he actually was in that 2nd gear, and he did that beautifully, improving on his time actually by just under a 10th coming into sector 2. But yeah, it's just gonna be tough. But to be honest with you, it just shows how close all of these drivers are. Ninja Kid has actually just improved his time to a 120.8, and from first of Ninja Kid to Lucas currently in last and 11th is separated by just over a second. And that is some seriously close times here, ladies and gentlemen. Division 1 goes all out with all of their races, and doesn't just go all out on the track, they also go all out with their customizable Porsches out there, all of them representing either themselves or their respective teams, but of course always representing High Prix as well as GT champions, and you just gotta love seeing stuff like that.
Absolutely. And I don't think I've ever seen a gap this close before between 1st and 11th. It's now down to .8 of a second.
It is, as we do
0.8 of a
see.
second.
As we
So
do
this
see
is
Web
gonna
Smurfer
be-
actually. Oh, and John actually run on the tail end as well, as he's having himself a little bit of a
Ooh.
shaky entrance to the pit lane. But look at these, not just how close it is, but look at the time differences. From Distinct Blaze to Rid1 F1, 16 thousandths of a second. Rid1 F1 to Lucas, 71 thousandths of a second. Lucas to Mazda, 3 thousandths of a second. These drivers are so close in pace. We're going to be seeing some extraordinary side-to-side battles if it carries on like this. As you see, Mazda going right past Corey. And look, right there, Brock Lil to Bite the Roses, another 3 thousandths of a second. And Corey hacked to Ninja Kid, 44 thousandths of a second. It just shows that all of these drivers are just giving it their all, proving themselves to be on the front row when it comes to the race start. And this is going to be a close one here, ladies and gentlemen. All of these drivers are giving it their all, and it's going to be a tough one. I got to say, it's going to be a tough one.
It is. Oh my gosh. Oh my god. This is not gonna be a race about pace, about quickness. This is gonna be, the winner's gonna be determined by the amount of mistakes that they make. Whoever makes the least amount of mistakes will win this race. And I know people are probably sitting here saying, oh, well, that's obvious, you know, that's every single track, yada, yada, yada. You gotta think, okay, this is a completely different situation. Because if it was any other track, you had a gap between 1st and 11th, you know, you say like a 5-10 second gap, that's all about your pace. Right now, it's sitting at a .881. That is telling me that everybody's pretty much on equal footing. It's going to come down to whoever doesn't spin out, whoever doesn't get to the sand, cause a wreck, what have you. They're the ones that are going to win the race.
But I think one thing that could definitely come into a factor here in this race to really prove whoever's going to win, even if people have those mistakes, I think another key factor in this race that's really going to divide all of these drivers is going to be that pit strategy. And I think that's going to be truly key with all of these drivers, because all of these drivers, I'm actually looking on right now, Brock Lil on a set of softs. We have what's called PX7 John right ahead of him on a set of mediums. And a lot of these drivers doing different tire strategies. Some of them out there, like Corey Hack, is testing out the tire degradation as well as the pit stop as he's currently in right now. Let's actually see how long the pit stop is actually. And this pit lane is actually a bit unique, you would say. Actually, it's before the final corner, which don't get me wrong, there's a lot of them like that. But it's actually after the third turn. Well, actually, no, not the third turn. Right after the second turn, right before the third turn, and I think that's actually a good thing as well, because if they actually had it right after that first turn, right before that hairpin, there's going to be a lot of mishap. You'll probably say a lot of collisions, a lot of missed timings, and it's going to be difficult for these drivers. But I think with it actually set up like this, it doesn't just make the track unique as well, but it makes it a lot more safe for the drivers that are exiting out of that pit lane.
Oh yeah, yeah, and I've got my eye on Ninja Kid at the moment here. And yeah, that is such a short pit exit too. That is, oh my lord.
And I'm trying to look at it as well. I think they might potentially lose maybe around 20 to 30 seconds. It's definitely going to be within that gap, and you have to utilize it. But look at that time from Mazda as he tops the timing charts, a 120.542 for the black and green Porsche with a little bit of a hint of, is that gold or bronze? I think that's meant to be gold, but it kind of looks like bronze.
Either way, that is a dope looking livery.
I love that car. A lot of these drivers actually have some pretty nice liveries actually. One of my favorites actually, he actually said it to me in the chat as well, right after the 4.5 hour long Porsche qualifying stream. Lucas, currently in 7th with his I said it like this. I said, look at Lucas with his sassy neon green and pink livery. It looks sassy, like it looks good. But of course, a
Oh my
lot of
God.
these drivers also representing their own teams, their own creativity as well. And you just gotta love to see that. Give these drivers a little bit of creative freedom to represent their teams. As you can see, we have PX7 John currently representing the High Pre livery as well. Actually, looks very, very nice, representing us well at High Pre. And then we also have Distinct Blaze, who of course is representing himself at Distinct. We have Red One, who's currently in the oh, actually, there's a huge collision up ahead with Brock
Oh my
Lil,
Lord.
as well as Red One, as they spin around turn 4. And this just shows as well, ladies and gentlemen, it doesn't matter if you're at the front of the pack, doesn't matter if you're at the back of the pack, or even in the middle. All of these drivers are struggling here at this track. And it just goes to show how difficult of a track this is, because you don't have any sort of like runoff concrete or anything like that. It's straight up sand, it's straight up gravel, or in some case straight up wall, and it's going to be tough for them as well. But of course, all of these drivers during the qualifying, they're also doing a lot of practice as well. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, I know that I said earlier that the drivers do have around two tire sets that they use. Of course, in qualifying, they can use as many tire sets as they want, but when it comes down to the race, they have to put 2 aside and make sure they make their way through. But so far in qualifying, I'm very excited for the race. I can already say I'm very excited for the race. I cannot wait to start it off.
Yeah, I absolutely cannot wait. I think this start, the very first lap, is gonna be wild.
It
I mean,
is
absolutely wild. Going into that downhill section, going into turn 1, that is going to be pure chaos, and I'm here for all of it.
Well, honestly, these drivers are doing so well. Even those little slight mistakes that these drivers are making, where they get a little bit too much sand, a little bit too much gravel, or even a little bit too much of the curve where they have a little bit of wheel spin. These drivers, they give it their all, and we couldn't thank them enough. And it's just extraordinary to see this sort of skills on the track as well as behind the scenes as well. And you just love to see something like that. As we just saw Bite the Roses get a little bit of airtime down the what's it called, the chicane / corkscrew actually. And Bite the Roses could be looking at improving on his time. And actually, there's actually another thing that we haven't even talked about, actually, about these cars, Cupcake. With it also being a super heavy rear end, the amount of understeer these drivers will be experiencing is going to be hectic, as we just saw Bite the Roses make himself set on the front row for the time being with a 120.758. And I think that's going to be another thing as well that these drivers are going to have to test out. With the tire degradation, if they have a lot of understeer, it's really going to mess up those front tires, and they are crucial. You want to let those front tires last as long as possible.
Yeah, and that you do. But there's this car, I am telling you, I did 3 laps, and I was terrified. Just for those 3 laps, because, you know, we are talking about some understeer, especially with the tire degradation. Excuse me.
No worries. I've been saying it so much. Yeah, I was just like you, bro. Yeah.
This car is super loose, though. I mean, it's not a matter of, you know, the understeer. The understeer will come later in the race, you know, once the tires wear down enough. But especially in this beginning, everybody's going to be kind of tensed up. Everybody is going to be on edge. And they have to balance that with gaining positions, but preventing oversteer. And as we see here, I think somebody had just wrecked. I'm trying to figure out who it was. It was Web Smurfer. Looked like he experienced some oversteer, like I was saying.
Yep, and good what's it called, awareness there from Bite the Roses to move out of the way. And I think we actually just got an improvement of time here, ladies and gentlemen. How in the world do you say that name? I remember I struggled so much with this guy's name. TS Bop. That's what I'm gonna say. TS Bop, the Canadian, actually getting onto the front row, taking it away from the British Bite the Roses as he clocks in a 120.723. But I don't think anyone's actually getting close to Mazda's time yet, and he could actually be comfortable here at this point, would you say?
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. Now, the one thing I do kind of wonder though is when he set that fastest lap, you know, what was his fuel situation? Because I'm looking at his lap times at the moment. They're a little bit all over the place. I mean, you see a couple 121s, 122s, then it goes up to, you know, 124, 125, versus, you know, some of these other individuals, such as, you know, we'll take Ninja Kid for example. You know, I'm seeing constant 120s, 121s. There's one, you know, 124. So, I mean, consistency is also going to be key in this race as well.
That is very true, because when it comes down to racing as well, it's not about pace, it's about consistency. Because it doesn't matter, like, let's say this, right? If we had this scenario, who do you think would win? If Mazda's fastest time was a 119, let's say. A 119, but that fluctuates between 119 and 125. Where a Ninja Kid would be around a 121 or a 120. Who do you think would be the better outcome in this race?
I wouldn't say, you know, hypothetically it wouldn't. I don't think it'd be Mazda. Because, you know, if you're constantly running, like, what'd you say, 120s, 121s, you know, versus someone running a 119 and then 121s, 22s, you know, that consistency is gonna get you farther than just one fast lap. There's a saying I remember someone mentioned to me, I think it was about 2 years ago on GT Sport, that I'm not a qualifier, I am a racer.
Exactly. Yo, that's a good saying right there. That's a very good saying.
Which, you know, that's something that I've taken with me. You know, I can sit there and, you know, or anybody actually, I'm not just gonna point myself out, but anybody can set a fastest lap, but can you keep that same pace all race long?
And I think that is where we're going to be seeing a lot of people struggle, because with a track like this, it just switches up on you just by like a flick of a like a light switch. It can change at any point, because because remember, as these drivers are going around the track, not only is the tires going to get worn, the fuel's going to get lower, so the car's going to be a little bit lighter, and you kind of want, and with the gas tank actually being on the front end of the car, it's going to be even tougher for them to get that that sort of that sort of traction on the front end of the car. And things can change like that, but that's also going to come down to if these drivers can actually they can have that consistency. But if they, what is the word for it actually? Where, like, if you're acting and you don't have a script and you just act. Improv.
Improvising.
Thank you.
Or
yeah.
Improv, yeah.
Yeah, so if they can improvise as they race. Because no one has a race fully planned out. They might have a plan, but the plans could always go wrong. And that is when you improvise and see if these drivers can actually switch on that, that like, attacking instinct and just keep on pushing. But so far we have about just under 5 minutes left of qualifying before we get this show ready and set to go, ladies and gentlemen. And honestly, if it's anything from what we saw in qualifying, there's going to be a few mistakes, there's going to be a lot of good battles, and we could see a little bit of heartbreak as well.
Yep, that is absolutely what we could see. And just to let everyone know also, I am going to be looking over your comments. If anybody posts any comments, I'll be able to see them.
Oh yeah, please. Yeah, exactly. Cause I can't really do that, or else my computer would shut down. So
Yeah, and we
yeah,
don't
so
want that now, do we?
no, we do not. So guys, if you guys want to interact with us, if you have any questions, if you have any suggestions, or even just random comments as well, we want to hear from you guys back at home. And that actually gives me a good reminder as well, ladies and gentlemen. I want to welcome everyone from around the world. We have people from New Zealand, America, Canada. We have myself from Bermuda, and I think I'm the only Bermudian. If there is another Bermudian, please let me know, and that'll be very surprising. We have people from the UK. We have people from Asia. We have people all over the grid, all over the world on the grid, as well as back at home. If you're watching from GT Champions, if you're also watching from 12 Ounce Sports Network, we welcome everyone from around the world, and we want to thank you guys so much from just taking the time out just to watch these races. And I'm telling you this right now, you will not be disappointed in the slightest. You won't be disappointed at all, because all these drivers do their practice, get everything sorted. And if you guys are interested, please make your way down to the GT Champions website at gtchampions.com, as GT Champions actually has been presented by RWB Racing, as Cupcake is a member of, and we are actually powered by Hypre, that I am a member of. And you want to see all of the news on Hypre, please make your way down to Twitter again and Instagram, Hy_Prix, that is HY_PRIX, and just get all of that information down about what we do. You'll be getting notifications about all of the drivers at Hypre, and if you follow us on hashtag GT Champions, you'll get all of the notifications about any posts, about any updates on the track, any updates from the admin as well, any announcements, or even just some funny we'll say bloopers from the comms box. And I'm telling you, with me, especially in this comms box, you're gonna get a lot. And it's gonna yeah, and it's gonna be funny, I can definitely tell you that. We definitely have our hiccups, we will say. We'll definitely have our hiccups. Well, me, to be honest with you, because you'll be fine, Cupcake. You'll be fine.
No. It'll be both of us. Trust me. I guarantee you, there will be bloopers on my end.
What would you say is the worst thing that well, not the worst thing, but the most embarrassing thing that you've said during commentary?
Oh,
that's a good question, isn't it?
That's a very good question. I wouldn't say it was embarrassing, but you know, almost kind of getting bored because you're the only one commentating. Yeah, especially in like the World Cup series where it's just 90 minutes and it's just you. And you're sitting there, you're trying to figure out what to say, how to say it, and then it all just comes out wrong.
Yep.
It's like, hey, this car is making a push for third place, and you got the guy, or you got the camera focused on, you know, the 13th position car, and...
Oh no, for me it's something that I actually said, and it was the funniest thing. This is what I said. So basically, I was commentating on Formula 1 at the time. I mean, I still do, but in this specific one, when someone spins out, of course their tires are going to be extraordinarily hot, and they're going to be struggling to get any sort of grip down. I was trying to say how hot it was, and I just had a brain fart. Like, I froze in time. I was just like, and it was hot, and like, those tires are hot, and then there was like a sudden, like a short pause, and I just said, like my oven. And I was completely just out of it, bro. Like, I was, right as I listened to, you know, like when you say something and then you instantly want to bash yourself in the face, where you just do a face palm and you just continuously hit yourself in the forehead?
Oh yeah, yeah.
That was me at that point. That was me at that point, and I was just like, why in the world did I say that?
Oh my gosh.
But yeah,
you know, there is something I do want to give Hypre a good shout out though, specifically towards Pixteca, because I got with him about a month or two ago. I needed a Cupcake logo. This dude made me the dopest, I mean dopest Cupcake logo known to man. Like, I want to put it on a t-shirt and I will rock it.
Hey, I'm gonna be the first one to buy it then. So you let me know.
Yeah,
and there's actually quite a bit of spins actually out there on the track from what it looks like
Unless-
Rid1 and PX7 John. But actually, another fun fact about Pixtech, actually, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys didn't know, good segue actually from what you said, actually, Cupcake. Pixteca at Hypre is the one that is making all of the graphics for you guys' visual pleasure back at home, ladies and gentlemen. So if you guys are going to say anything in the chat that's going to be wholesome, please shout out Pixteca and say a big thank you to Pixteca, as he is actually the person that makes all of the graphics and makes it an easier job for me in the comms box as well as Cupcake, but also it makes it a more enjoyable experience for you guys back at home. So a big shout out to my main man Pixteca at Hypre, as well as Presidio Dog, who actually runs GT Champions, your team as well, Cupcake at RWB Racing, for actually powering the GT Champions. And honestly, we couldn't thank you guys enough for helping us out and just making things just go so much easier on everybody. And honestly, a big round of applause for everyone taking part, as well as on the track, from behind the scenes. Everyone, big shout out.
Yep, and on behalf of RWB there, Justin, we'd like to give, you and Hypre a huge thank you. I mean, without you guys teaming up, this is not about RWB. This is not about just RWB itself. It's about us, it's about Hypre, it's about all the teams that are participating in the series, all the commentators. Hey, look, a blooper. Without the group effort, GT Champions would not be a thing and would not be as fun as it is now. So, just a huge thank you to all the teams, everyone that's helped, and everyone that's contributed to making GT Champions the league that it is.
Honestly, it's lovable to see that, my man. It's lovable to see that and hear that, especially from someone like you who is a part of RWB. But ladies and gentlemen, we're seeing all of the drivers get themselves ready. Qualifying is over, and I do gotta say, in the dire moments of qualifying, Corey Hack has taken pole position just in front of Mazda, and I wouldn't think that Mazda was going to lose that there. Mazda will be setting up on the front row as well. All the drivers are going to be getting their tires nice and ready, and look at these fine drivers getting themselves nice and parked up on the side of turn 2, and you gotta say, that is thumbnail potential right there.
Yeah, they are feeling awfully photogenic today. They're buddies before the race, but how are they going to be after the race?
Oh, no. Well, it's not after the race. They're buddies before and after the race, but during the race is the real question there.
Oh, yeah.
That is going to be the tough question there, but all of these drivers have mad respect for themselves, for everyone out there. I don't know who that is. I think that is not Lucas. Who is that having themselves a little bit of fun? Burning themselves.
Webb. That is Webb.
Honestly, love to see that. But ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together, buckle your seatbelts, because we are just seconds underway for the start of this race. And honestly, I cannot wait until we see the green lights.
Yep. And while we're waiting here, I did get some comments on our YouTube channel. So we got quite a few fans of Ninja Kid here. We got Danielle Villanueva saying go Ninja Co. and Ninja and RWB rocks. And Hypre has commented saying shout out to the commentators as well, of course, with a dabbing emoji. Josh Monfort saying yo, aka Big Red, what's good, G?
Honestly, I'd love to see that.
Forza Ferrari saying hello. So we got a bunch of people here. We got about 11
guys
Forza Ferrari watching us. Yeah.
Oh, that's my guy right there. I love that man. Forza Ferrari. Yeah. I've actually known him from a previous a previous Formula 1 league, and I suggested him to GT Champions, and so far he's been enjoying it, and I'd love to see that as well. But ladies and gentlemen, we are just seconds underway. I just received word from Ninja Kid We're about to get this show on the road. Ladies and gentlemen, buckle your seatbelts, start your engines, because we are about to get this show started. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys are just queuing in, you have just missed out of qualifying, but you have not missed out on the main event here for GT Champions Porsche Cup for Division 1 Round 2 at the Laguna Seca Circuit. Commentators, myself, Just Gaming, also known as Justin Silva, as well as RWB Cupcake. Welcome, my man. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Yep, I can't wait. I cannot wait. I know they're working out a few kinks at the moment. Look like Roses, or I think it was Lucas that couldn't see Roses. So just working out a couple kinks here. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we experience no technical difficulties.
Bro, I'm crossing my fingers, I'm crossing my toes, I'm crossing my tongue, I'm crossing everything.
Oh my lord.
I'm gonna keep it crossed, so actually, no, I'm not gonna do that.
At Taiwan. Oh no. Well, we're not gonna go there. Oh my lord.
Look at it, go down turn 1. Like, I'm trying to talk with my tongue being twisted, and it's tough. Like, that's probably why you're saying, oh, you got you twist, like, oh, twist your tongue so you can be quiet. Now I understand the phrase.
Yep, and I did get a comment here from Danielle. She, I guess she literally took your advice, because she is buckled in saying, let's go Ninja and RWB. Cheryl wishing the best of luck to everyone, and saying good luck Ninja.
Well, actually, one thing that we actually could do, as we wait for all of the drivers to get themselves ready, what would you say is your favorite livery out there on the track?
Oh my gosh. Let's see, as one of the RWB admins, you know, obviously...
Oh, of course, of course.
But, you know, I'm unbiased. Honestly, I gotta go with Distinct Blaze. That livery is so simple, yet just as crisp as a 7-Up. I mean, it is... I love that pink purple that transitions into blue and then black, and it's just a gorgeous looking livery. Yeah.
For me, actually, I actually like Mazda. I really like Mazda's one with a little bit of bronze/gold with the white, green, and black. And if you actually look... So with Mazda, we're actually currently on the side pod of his of the car. A few scratches out there, but it's gonna all be scratches. But you can actually look right inside of there. So it kind of looks like a Louis Vuitton esque design. But you can actually, if you look closely enough, you can actually see the GT Champions logo. You can see the Hypre logo kind of hiding like camouflage with the colors of that lime. And I think that's very, very creative by presenting GT Champions and Hypre. I think that's very, very cool in my opinion. And very, very creative as well.
It is, but it looks so expensive, and I mean, if I was him, I'd be terrified to even drive it.
I mean, it's a Porsche 911. Like, come on, those things probably retail will probably be around 300 to maybe 500,000. I don't really know exactly, mainly because we don't really have those in Bermuda. So,
you know, I bet you I could look up the starting price of a 911 real quick. But
starting price? We're gonna be bidding on it?
Well, not start. See another blooper.
No. Like bidding on it. Imagine that. Can I get the 500, 500, 500, 550, 550, we got a 500, 550 bid, 550 bid, 550 bid, 550 bid, we got a 500, 550 bid, 550 bid, okay, we got 550, 600, can I see a 600, 600, we got 550, going once, going to, oh, we got 600, we got 650, 650, 650, 650, 650, 650, I'll accept 625, I'll accept 625, we currently have 600, I'm looking for 625 or 650, 650.
Yep, and then it goes to Mazda, it goes from 650 to 1.3 million. Because of that livery, and that livery alone.
1.3 million.
Here's a fun fact for anyone watching here. For a 2017 Porsche 911 Carrera, goes anywhere now this is like MSRP.
And this is stock. This isn't like a group car. This is just stock.
Yeah, this is a range. You know, depending on trims, yada yada yada.
Yeah, exactly.
Base model, you're looking about 90 grand. which I mean, I'm pretty sure I got that,
Wait, what?
underneath my couch pillows. Um,
Okay,
and
show off.
can go for more than 200 grand for a Turbo S Cabriolet.
Ooh, man. And plus, you can probably imagine the prices of these cars out there now. They got to be just under $1 million at this point.
Oh yeah, yeah, every bit. Do this.
But you can actually see a lot of these drivers are getting themselves ready and set to go, having themselves a little bit of fun before they put out those elbows and just bash themselves all the way until the front. Of course, not physically, but mentally, trying to bash themselves through, find their way all the way through. And I think we just had a quick leave of Bite the Roses, actually, ladies and gentlemen. I think we just had an issue with Bite the Roses, and that's actually pretty sad to see. Actually, Bite the Roses was quite up there, actually.
It was. I'm gonna look here.
Yeah, not too entirely sure what happened there. Any news on that? Has he messaged you actually?
So I've been reading the comments, and let's see here. Bite the Roses is saying that he's just gonna sit out. Um, because a lot of people are having issues with not seeing him on the track. So that's gonna pose a kind of like a safety risk to, not only himself but to other drivers if, they can't see each other.
Yeah,
People are gonna
exactly.
get accidentally wrecked, punted, what have you. So that's what it looks like.
Well, guys, until we get this sorted, we're gonna keep ourselves on this screen as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys are interested, um, please look at all of the information up on the board. We actually have our different qualifying start times with the 1 hour start time. We're currently a few minutes late due to the technical difficulties. You gotta love Gran Turismo for that. But one thing that you would always guarantee, ladies and gentlemen, is that once the race kicks off, even if there's a disconnect, it's still a very, very enjoyable experience. But we're just gonna be a few seconds until we start, so hopefully we get started pretty soon. But of course, we're working really hard in the background, trying to see what's going on, how we can fix it. But if you guys are enjoying it, please, please, please make your way down to gtchampions.com for info and stats of all of the leagues and all of the past leagues that we have done in the past as well. So if you guys want to get yourselves involved with those, please make your way over there. And I think we actually had another latecomer actually here of
Yep.
GVG Jake actually. I think he's going to be racing here tonight, representing the Apex Racing team with that beautiful purple and black livery. I gotta love that.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it looks so good.
It looks very nice, I gotta say. And I'm not too sure that he sees Lucas either, so I'm not too sure what's happening here, ladies and gentlemen. But we're working very hard in the background. But until then, actually, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna be right back, and we're gonna be right back on the screen once we get everything sorted. So don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen.
looking at the comments here, we are not getting any kind of audio. So we cannot be graced, or these people can't be graced by our voice.
Yep, I figured it out. Yep, there it is. There it is. Well, there's a blooper right there for you, ladies and gentlemen. I forgot to unmute us. Oh, you gotta love it. Today's just been going so swell, as you guys can tell. But if you guys did miss it, I mean, if you guys did, you actually you did miss it because I had us muted. You actually saw a bunch of beautiful battles all over the field. Mishap from Jake at the beginning as he's still trying to learn the track. Corey Hack is actually with the late start has actually caught up to Webb Smurfer and looking to battle out for P5. Just ahead of him, we're seeing Lucas right on the tail end of Ninja Kid trying to make himself into P2 as well as they come around the final corner. And for an 1 hour endurance race, of course, is not a sprint race. It's more of a marathon. So you want to pick out your chances when you have them. As we now see Lucas, he's going to look for this chance, potentially just going to back out of it. But now look at Webb Smurfer and Corey Hack. Is Corey Hack going to go for it? No, he is not. But see, and that just proves what I just said, as we just saw Jake, who has just disconnected. So we're now down to 6 drivers on the field. Actually, it says 7, and surprisingly, it says you, Cupcake. Actually,
I know. Apparently, I am driving.
And you don't have a nation.
I don't. I am my own nation.
You are from the moon.
No, I am from the land of Little Debbie.
Oh wow.
You never heard of Little Debbie?
No, I'm uncultured, my friend.
Yes. Little Debbie is like a snack cake company here in the U.S.
Ah, that's why I don't know it. Because a lot of our stuff is I mean, not a lot of our stuff. Like we're British, here in Bermuda, we're like British colonized, but like we do have only one American store, and it's gonna laugh, and you're gonna laugh about what it is.
Oh boy.
The one American fast food store that we have is KFC. That's the only one. We don't have McDonald's. We don't have Popeyes. We don't have any of them. We don't have any. We don't even have the pizzas. Like a lot of our stores here in Bermuda is actually locally owned. But enough about me waffling. Oh, Ninja
let's
Kid!
Take a look at the battle for P2 here.
Yeah, Ninja Kid had himself a little bit of a hiccup at the hairpin, mistimed the braking zone, and am I seeing this right actually here, Cupcake? The sun is going down and the headlights are coming on.
Oh no, this is gonna get good. This is gonna get good.
Good now, for us, but bad for them.
Yeah, bad for them. But you know, Mazda, he is keeping a very comfortable gap between himself and Ninja Kid. They're about 6 laps in. He's been keeping about a 4-second gap between himself and Ninja Kid. So he's just kind of in the zone at the moment. Just, oh, he got a little bit loose there. Whoa, what happened to Luke?
Luke has actually just messed up around, what turn is that? Turn 7, right before the uphill, as we did see him prior in qualifying, but now he's going to have the pressure of Widrun right on the tail end. So now Ninja Kid has been given a gift of clean air and clean racing, as we now see Ridwan catching up and going to be looking for a good battle between him and Lucas as they now make their way through. Right behind him, we actually see Webb Smurfer and Corey Hack still going at it. So we're going to go currently on the rear view of Corey Hack, and you can actually see how close all of these drivers are as we're looking on the rear view right after that pink spoiler. And you gotta say how close it is and how dark it's gonna get.
Oh yeah, I'm currently on board with Lucas here. I'm looking right.
Oh, Lucas is spun
into the dirt, and he's gone.
I think that's a little bit of a rage quit. Oh, and it looks like I'm in the race now.
All right, well I'm gonna beat you.
No, I mean you probably would. I am a crap driver. That's why I'm in the comms box.
No. You haven't. See, my forte isn't like high downforce, not these kinds of cars. And
you know what my forte is? Cars that aren't usually used, which means they're not the meta, in quotes. quotation marks, meta. But I mean, one thing I have, like, I am very consistent, right? I can tell you this, I am very consistent as a driver, as I do spin every single time I race. I'm very consistent of being crap, okay? So you have plenty of time to beat me. But right now, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys are just queuing in, welcome to the GT Champions Porsche Cup, as we're here for round 2 of Division 1 at the Laguna Seca circuit. As we actually had a little bit of a mishap with the start of the race. We were looking to have about 11 drivers, but with a few drivers couldn't really make it in time. Of Jake, and he actually just left after he had himself a little bit of a disconnect. A lot of the drivers actually couldn't really connect to the server, right? But we're now down to 5. But even with only 5 drivers, we're seeing some close quarter racing. As we're looking at Corey Hack getting right past Webb Smurfer down towards Sector 2 in Turn 5. And that is a beautiful overtake there for Corey Hack. Had himself a late start, forgot to turn on the engine, was about 10 seconds back at the race start as Red1 has himself an incident and now moves down to P5. Corey Hack in 2 laps, gaining 2 positions, now in the podium for Corey Hack. Beautiful stuff to see there.
It is, and that's just gonna, that's gonna push him farther back from Ninja Kid and Mazda. This constant battling. And it's like what I said earlier today, the winner of this race will be determined by whoever makes the least amount of mistakes. And I think we're starting to see that take shape with Corey Hack being 10 seconds behind Ninja Kid. Ninja Kid, I think, no, it looked like he was starting to gain on Mazda by about half a second. It's went back, to 4 seconds now. Seems to be going down. That's odd.
Well, we're actually seeing the,
Yeah.
Well, I can definitely tell you why, actually. I believe Corey Hack, Webb Smurfer, as well as Red1 are all doing different pit strategies. I believe that they're on the set of mediums by how far how far back they are compared to their qualifying pace. And Ninja Kid and Mazda might be on the set of softs, as they have been clocking around 121s. As Corey Hack and everyone else behind have been on 122s, and Corey Hack was one of the fastest drivers in qualifying. So I believe it's going to be a mixed setup for all of these drivers out here, and so far it's going to be Mazda currently taking the early lead, currently ahead of Ninja Kid by almost 3 seconds, and was about 4 seconds prior. So Ninja Kid has actually been gaining on Mazda, so we could be seeing a change in the lead of this race. But Corey Hack, as well as Webb Smurfer and Red1, are going to be looking to go for the longer stints on this one, I do believe. And might be getting an undercut when they switch onto the set of softs after. You never know.
Oh, yeah, and I didn't even realize that. Yeah, so this is going to get interesting then. Especially first and second, with the softs, everyone else on mediums. Ooh, that's going to... Ooh. I can't wait to see what happens later on in the race.
Well, we are going to be having front row seats as always here at Cupcake, and same with the people back at home. If you guys are just enjoying this, please let us know in the comments if you like the video, like everything. If you're watching from 12 Ounce Sports Network, I want to welcome you as well, and please make your way down to gtchampions.com so you're notified on all of the stats as well as updates to the league, as well as Hypre. Go look up Hypre as well.
Oh, Red1 overtaking Webb for 4th position.
Now that is a clean overtake there. Very, very nice. Webb Smurfer actually had himself a little bit of a hiccup on that downhill. Was looking to get a little bit of contact, but moved to the right just in time to avoid the lime car ahead. But if I'm gonna be honest, in these dark in these dark times, literally as the sun is currently down, I would rather be behind someone than in front of someone, just because you can actually use them to actually give yourself a little bit of leverage with the slipstream, so he's going to give you a little bit more pace, but as well as the fuel consumption. Your fuel consumption is going to stay like pretty nicely, actually, as that slipstream is going to carry you through a lot of these corners. But it's kind of a a dual-edged sword as well, actually, because even though you're getting some very, very good slipstream, you're also getting a lot of dirty air into these corners. So even though you're saving on fuel, your tires, specifically the front tires, are really gonna start taking a beating. But I think that if you're on like those medium tires or the hard tires, you can definitely subsidize and stay behind someone and just have that longer stint. But if you're on those softs, you want to stay in front of someone. You want to have that extra leverage to where you don't have that dirty air, but you're gonna have to watch out for that fuel as well if you're gonna go for a longer stint than usual. But you can see Web Smurfer, our cameraman, working the camera in the passenger seat of Web Smurfer, is really struggling, trying to fight against those G-forces as well. So it just really shows how much strength these drivers truly have out there on the track as well.
It is, and you know, I've been watching Web Smurfer here, and he's gaining a little bit, but he's also losing. The big thing though that I have noticed, check out the gap between position 1 and 2. It is now down to 2.5 seconds. Ninja Kid is gaining on Mazda for the lead.
And I think that's because Ninja Kid was actually a little bit more conservative on his tires. And that's what I'm talking about as well, what I was saying in qualifying. You can have that fast pace, you can have that quick pace, but even though that you can be consistent at that quick pace as well, you still need to figure out the tire consumption, the fuel consumption, and all of that sort to see what you're actually giving up to get those sort of what's it called? Those sort of times. And Ninja Kid has actually got that perfect balance of good enough speed, but also very good tire and fuel saving. And I think that's going to really aid him to catch up to Mazda, stay longer out on the track, and even if he has those hiccups just like that, he's going to make up for that later on in the next lap. So I think Ninja Kid is in a very good position here. And I'm actually looking at it as well. Web Smurfer is now behind Ridwan by around 8.5 seconds. So it looks like Web Smurfer has actually had a huge mishap while battling out with Ridwan, and now falls down even further back at the pack, now 28 seconds behind the leader of Mazda.
Yeah, and Mazda making a pretty big mistake there by getting into the sand. That dropped his gap between himself and Ninja Kid by almost 1 second.
Wow, yeah, and you can actually see the gap now. Ninja Kid is now closing in to within 1.9 seconds, currently at 2.2 as they make their way up. And I'm actually looking at it. Mazda has some very good like exit cornering speed, but he actually struggles on the actual entrance of those corners. Oh, and Ninja Kid with a huge drift. Tokyo over here for Ninja Kid, as he has a good save there and settles up for P2 so far. And actually, there is one thing I'm actually looking at, and there's actually a kind of a trend here. One thing that makes the Porsche 911 actually so unique is that on the side doors, you can actually see 3 lights on the door. If one light is lit, you're actually in P1. Ninja Kid currently in P2 with 2 lights. Corey Hack with having all 3 lights lit on his car, and behind him, Ridwan and Web Smurfer having no lights on on those Porsches. And it just shows that these cars are so unique, so desirable as well by many around the world.
Yes, and Corey Hack though, he's going to be losing those 3 lights here with a half a second penalty. I imagine that's probably for track limits. Let's go back to P2 here with Ninja Kid. The gap has now dropped down to 1.4.
It's closing in now. It's 1.2, yeah. So he's really picking up the pace, and we could be seeing a change in leader as well, ladies and gentlemen. So far, Mazda's last lap was a 123.469. where Ninja Kid was a 122.546. So Ninja Kid gained a whole second in the previous lap, and that's what I was saying. Even if Ninja Kid has that slight hiccup of taking too much of the curb, he makes up for it in the next lap, and we could be seeing him with a low 22 as well, as he is now within a second.
Going into the pits.
And that is a smart play, and I'll tell you why. That is a very smart play. That way Ninja Kid is now stuck. He needs to get the best lap that he can ever get on his old set of softs, and Mazda is going to be going for the overcut. where he is actually ahead of him, makes the early pit stop, and could be coming out ahead of Ninja Kid once Ninja Kid makes his what's called mandatory pit stop. But now Mazda going in, he was on a set of softs, and now comes out on a bit of a different strategy here. From what it looks like, it's a new set of softs. Still waiting on it as he comes out of the pit lane now. It might change in a few seconds.
It might, and the interesting thing to see also is he didn't take any kind of fuel.
No, he did not. So that's a bit interesting there. I think it's the wrong call there for Mazda, in my opinion. I think it's the wrong call there, because he only has 2 tires. That is his last tire that he can use in this race. And with it being a set of softs, with 40 minutes left, I think he's really going to struggle.
Yeah, I believe he will. So, yeah,
unless,
I mean, like right now, if I was Ninja Kid, my next pit stop, I would change to mediums, get a splash of fuel. I mean a splash, because right now it looks like if you go, you can go about 22-23 minutes on a half tank of fuel. So, if I'm looking at this right, you could probably go, theoretically, okay, this is just pure speculation, probably go about 40 minutes on a full tank. So you need to, I think it might be best if you either fuel up this pit stop, or, you know, do like what, kind of like what Mazda's doing. You know, switch and keep the softs, don't fuel up. You're running, well, you will run faster laps, you know, with half a tank fresh soft tires.
However, but this is the thing though as well.
Yeah.
He only can make 1 pit stop.
Right.
Mazda has just done his only pit stop. So his fuel and his tires have to go until the end. So Ninja Kid, I think his best bet to do right now is to wait until the 25-minute mark, as we're currently just crossing over the 22. Go in the 25-minute mark, go on the set of mediums, and I think, as you said, get a quick splash of fuel where he will get like 3/4 filled, and I think he'll be fine after that too, where he can go all out on the fuel, doesn't have to fuel save, doesn't have to worry about tires, and just goes until the end.
Absolutely. And while everybody here is kind of spaced out, I did receive a couple interesting comments.
What's up?
So we got a couple here from Danielle and Cheryl, you know, cheering on Ninja Kid. They're loving it right now, which, you know, I'm glad to hear. Nicole asking, are you front row seats if you two are in the lineup and track? It's too hot to be in the front row. I mean, we're in California.
I mean, I'm in Bermuda, and honestly, right now, I have my AC unit blasting right now. Like today, like I do Celsius. So if someone wants to do the quick maths and see what it is in Fahrenheit for the Freedom units,
I like that.
What's it called? It is 25 degrees Celsius, 30 degrees with humidity.
30 degrees. Ooh, 40.
30 degrees Celsius, and I think that could be around maybe the 90 degrees Fahrenheit, maybe 96. I'm not too sure.
Just did the math here with the 30 degrees Celsius. It's about 86 degrees. It's about 88 degrees here. In all seriousness, over in Cincinnati, Ohio. We've been.
Oh, okay. So we're pretty much in the same boat then. Yeah, we're pretty much in the same boat.
Yeah, we've had storms and pea-sized hail and all that today, and just
you've had hail.
Humid, so, oh yeah.
I've only seen hail once in my life. Once.
If you ever want to see the weather change, every 5 minutes, come to Ohio.
Oh no, no,
you.
Bermuda's the same way. There'll be 1 second where it's like it's been raining all day, then you have that 1 second where it's like nice and I was about to say shunny, nice and sunny, and then it just comes down raining again 5 minutes later. Like Bermuda is the same way with that as well, my good sir, where we just have just quick changes.
I'm telling you, this past year, one day it'll be 70 degrees, and this is the honest truth. Next day, 30 degrees, snowing. And then back up to the 50s and 60s.
Well, if that happens
stuff.
in the near future, it's May as well. So if that happens in the near future, there is something going on.
Well, that's Ohio for you. But, you know, Danielle, you know, she's been listening to us, which thank you so much for commenting and watching. She just pointed something out, though. You know, the Celsius and the Fahrenheit, that doesn't matter right now because it is ninja degrees in here because this dude is hot.
He is going
on a roll.
But someone that is on a roll right now is going to be Mazda on his new set of softs.
Whoa, look
and
at that,
he is sniffing the diffuser of Red One. He is smelling what he had for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And so far, it's just been concrete, a little bit of sand, a little bit of gravel, but still concrete. And Mazda is just taking it all in. And it's definitely not a scent that he wants to get used to, as he wants Red One to be smelling that diffuser, and probably even driving far past. But you can actually see Red One is actually defending pretty nicely against Mazda here. It's going to be the Australian versus the New Zealand, and it's going to be tough to see who's going to be the one to come out on top.
Yeah, and this is also bad news for Mazda because he is pushing that car even harder. He's going to be wearing those tires down super quick. I mean, he's only about 4 laps in. I mean, we're already showing, you know, some pretty good wear going on with his soft tires. And with Red One, you know, doing a wonderful job defending, that's just going to eat Mazda alive.
Well, let's see who's going to be the one to come out on top. Mazda is just trying to get out of that dirty air. You can see in each corner, as he now looks around the outside, Red One is going to defend on the inside. Mazda's going to try and go for the switchback. He's looking for it. They're side to side, and Red One shuts the door and holds on to that three lanes. A little bit of a slip.
Whoa.
He saves it. You got to say, that was a good save, but very unfortunate. Oh,
very
wow.
Unfortunate, but what a save.
He's got to be happy with that, but one thing that he's not going to be happy about is that those 3 lights on the side of his car is now off. He is out of the podium, and Mazda now had them all 3 lit up lime green as he makes his way into the podium of P3. Now going to be eyeing down Corey Hack up ahead, and let's see how fast that Mazda is going to be doing compared to Corey Hack. As the previous lap, they're actually doing pretty much the same sort of pace. Of course, Mazda battling out the Red One, but I think Corey Hack is gonna have to start defending pretty heavily very soon, as Mazda is closing the gap down seconds per lap.
Yeah, and another thing interesting to me too, I've been keeping an eye on Ninja Kid and Corey Hack, trying to, you know, calculate the gaps and what have you. Ninja Kid's starting to lose some time here. He's been running 123s. Looks like 124. He's lost about a sec. Actually, it is a second between himself and Corey Hack. So those soft tires are starting to eat him alive.
Well, I think this is what he's gonna go with, because if I know Ninja Kid, I think what he is going to do, he's going to make those softs last until the 30-minute mark, and then go on another set of softs to end the race. That's what I'm thinking. He is going to be laying the groundwork in these tires, to help him out on the next pit stop. And he knows that on the 30-minute mark, all he would need to do is just go with half a tank, and then he'll be set for the rest of the race.
Yeah, I mean, let's look. I'm trying to look here.
Oh, but look,
yeah.
So actually, one thing that you were saying, so Corey Hack is gaining a second on Ninja Kid each lap, yeah?
That's what it kind of looks like.
While Mazda is doing the same, as he is now gaining a second each lap on Corey Hack, even more in some cases. So now Mazda is really shifting the gears, as he is now around 3 seconds behind Corey Hack on a purple lap as well. So this could be the fastest lap of the race so far. Could be taken away from Lucas, as he said a 121.539, and he does a 121.198 for Mazda. a beautiful time there. Very difficult to do it during a race as well, as he is closing in the times that he was doing in qualifying, actually. And that is very, very commendable, especially in these sort of conditions where all of the pressure is on you, and now you're going to be focused on the driver ahead of you as well, as 3 seconds separate second and third.
Oh my gosh.
Well, let's see this now. We have now just reached the halfway mark of this race, and now is going to come down to the decision making of Ninja Kid. If he wants to lead this race, he will have to go on another set of softs and make up some sort of gap, because he is really struggling out there, and you can see that he's going all out, and he's still going to stay out on those old set of softs.
Oh my lord.
This man is a man on a mission. He is just nursing those set of rubbers until the end, but I think he's really going to struggle now. He's really struggling. Previous lap, the lap before this one, was a 123.5. He did a 124.5 on this lap, and it just really shows how much tire wear and how much these drivers are struggling in the late comings of this race.
Yeah, and it seems like at the moment here, everyone is pretty well gapped. Mazda is now about a second and a half back from Corey. So I'm curious to see how that's going to work. Mazda obviously has lesser fuel than Corey had. That's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. Corey getting a little bit loose. Is going to lose a few tenths of a second to Mazda. Meanwhile, we got Ridwan sitting in 4th place. He's got a gap about 7.5 seconds between himself and Mazda. About 17 seconds between himself and Webb Smurfer. The big thing I'm worried about, well, actually, hold on here. Mazda is now 1 second, less than a second, but let's go back to our leader, Ninja Kid, who has just pitted.
And I think this is where he's going to either make it or break it, as he now is going to go into the pit lane for a new set of tires, probably a little bit of refuel, but now we could be seeing Mazda really going to start to struggle. If I was in Mazda's shoes, do not make the overtake. Utilize that slipstream as much as possible, because now he is on thin ice. With that sort of fuel at this time of the race, he is really going to struggle.
Oh yeah, and
oh, is he? Woo! Collects too much of the sand there, but saves it from spinning around, as he now loses just about 3/10. But he's going to be able to make it up later on this lap. As we now see Ninja Kid, he's going to be coming out of the pit lane just behind Webb Smurfer, as I said, on a new set of softs, and with around 65% of fuel. And I think that's actually a good percentage there for Ninja Kid, as he can now go all out until the end, and we'll be looking at getting past Webb Smurfer first, as Webb Smurfer, Ridwan, as well as Corey Hack still yet to make their pit stop.
Oh yeah, and I'm curious to see what Corey Hack's gonna do, because I mean, he's doing a great job defending, but he seems to be... Oh, he went into the pits.
And now this is bad news for Mazda. He has no sort of slipstream to aid him on fuel saving, and he is now going to really struggle to stay ahead of Ninja Kid and make that car cross the line at the end. But now Ninja Kid on Webb Smurfer on the inside.
Ooh, what an overtake.
What a beautiful overtake there. Webb Smurfer trying to get the position back. Can't find the space there, as Corey Hack still in the pit lane and still getting his tires changed. Ninja Kid is going to move up to P3, and he now has the green lights relit on that Porsche. And now bad news for Corey Hack, now behind Webb Smurfer, and Webb Smurfer now needs to make his pit stop, as he's still yet to do it, and his fuel load is actually pretty low as well. Same goes with Ridwan. Actually, Ridwan has actually been fuel saving quite decently, actually, I should say.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's what I'm seeing here. Now, is it me, or am I seeing some kind of like network issues with Corey.
Let's see. He's actually
Well, take
looking
it off.
pretty nice there. Taking these corners.
Oh, yeah.
Like he looks pretty alright. He's not like
Looks good.
he's not Slendermaning around the track, but
No.
but he's doing pretty nicely. He's doing pretty nice on a new set of tires as well, a new fuel. As Ridwan finally makes his pit stop. Let's see. Actually, this is actually a good test. Oh, Corey Hack, a little bit of a hiccup down that chicane as he collects a little bit too much of that gravel on the exit, but was able to hang on to it. Webb Smurfer just ahead, still staying out on his old set of tires. Ridwan still yet to reach the pit box, and he reaches it now, and I think he's really going to struggle as they change the tires, probably onto a set of softs to end this race. Now has to fuel up. And he comes out now, but he's going to be so far behind. Poor Ridwan.
Oh man.
And you got to say, big command, like, what's called? Like, big shout out to Webb Smurfer, still staying out there on those old set of mediums with very low fuel as well. And that's actually going to help him to stay ahead of Corey Hack a little bit with the lighter load. But with his worn set of mediums, Corey Hack right on the tail end. He is looking for the move. Is he going to get it
Ooh,
soon?
what's gonna happen?
As they go neck and neck for those green lights. He's looking on the inside. Potentially, he's there. He's sticking his nose in. Down towards the hairpin chicane.
Ooh, dangerous.
And he makes the move.
What an overtake. That had to be the overtake of the day. To be
Beautiful
that
scenes
ballsy.
there.
Oh yeah, to be that, to be blunt, ballsy in a sense, to outbreak Webb Smurfer going into the corkscrew.
Well, honestly, I mean, to be honest with you,
precision.
it was very good precision, especially timing that braking zone. But I think it was the right call to actually go for a move like that, because if you think about it, even though he has a heavier car, he has a new set of soft tires, where Webb Smurfer is on an old set of mediums, and that is really going to help him out move up into the podium, and especially. But the thing was that really made it ballsy. It was just the location on the track that really did it. Like, I can admit this right now, Corey Hack has bigger balls than me. I will never, ever go on to a move like that. But for him to actually be that ambitious, that confident to go into that sort of move, especially in a location like that on this track, and with these sort of cars as well, high praise right there. Overtake of the day, without a doubt.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Now, I'm taking a look here at Mazda. He's got less than a fuel. Softs are wearing down pretty good. Ninja Kid looks to be gaining on him, ever so slightly.
He is actually, yeah. He is actually currently gaining by a second and a half. So now Mazda, even though it's not actually in the rules, he's going to have to either go onto seriously low fuel loads, which it doesn't look like he's fuel saving at all. So it looks like he's going to have to go for another pit stop, which could be detrimental to his race. I do believe if he changes a set of tires and fuel, he'll be getting 2 minutes of time penalty, and that just ruins your race. I'm not too sure if that was carried over from the World Cup, but I think that he's really going to struggle out here as he has no tires left in the pits.
Yep, none whatsoever.
As you can see, and he is struggling in these corners. You can see in these corners, really struggling to keep the grip. But now Ridwan is going to be coming out of the pit lane earlier, and now right on the tail end of Webb Smurfer is Ridwan going to pull a Corey Hack. Instead of at the beginning, he's going to look to do it at the end of the corner. Couldn't get it done. But Webb Smurfer really defending like a true champion that he is. But Ridwan around the outside, he's looking for the gap, a little bit of contact. as there was not enough space given. Web Smurfer now shoots into the pit lane. Good defense there from Web Smurfer, but Ridwan coming out on top will be going up to P4. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we can actually see that the sun is coming up. So now the headlights will start to turn off one by one as the sun comes up here at Laguna Seca. It's been a long race, as we now have 20 minutes left, and it's so far been an extraordinary one despite the amount of drivers that we have out there on the track. Whoever left is their loss at this point, because this race has been absolutely extraordinary.
And it has. And I'm still watching that gap between Ninja and Mazda. You know, what was it, about 2 laps ago, he had about a 26-second lead. It's now dropped down to 22. Went back up to 23.
Oh, and one thing I am seeing now, actually, Mazda could be getting his first driver to lap in a league race, as Web Smurfer now comes out of the pit lane and is being hit with the blue flag. Will have to yield and let Mazda through once he gets within a second of him. But you can really see that Mazda has been giving it his all despite the conditions, and now will definitely be taking the worst end of it, as Ninja Kid, as his pitch strategy, as I did say, would be one of the key things in this race. His pitch strategy has really paid off, and I think Mazda is really going to struggle. He could be getting the fastest lap at the end of this race, but I don't think that extra point is going to cover up a first place finish.
No, I don't think it will at all.
But let's see this now. And oh, and I'm actually looking at something. Web Smurfer is pulling away from Mazda. And that just shows. Oh, and look at Mazda! Good save there, as he now goes back into the pit lane for the second pit stop. Someone needs to make note of that. But now let's see where he comes out compared to Ninja Kid. Ninja Kid went on around over half of the race on a set of softs to go into another set of softs, takes the fastest lap as well a few laps after the exit, and now Mazda is in deep waters. That thin ice is now broken off. He is now drowning, and he now has to swim himself back out once he makes this pit stop. But Ninja Kid is going to be the anvil of that situation, and he's going to be pulling away and pulling Mazda even further back of the grid.
And now Ninja Kid with a 9-second lead over Corey Hack, who has now taken second position.
And you can now see Mazda exiting out of the pit lane now on his new set of softs, 42% fuel left, and I think that's a good percentage, but two pit stops instead of one pit stop is the wrong strategy there for Mazda.
Yeah, and you know how we were talking about Mazda setting the fastest lap? Looks like a couple laps ago, Ninja Kid has set the fastest lap of the race at a blistering 121.1.
And that is an extraordinary lap there from Ninja Kid, representing RWB well, and I know that you're going to be excited about that, Cupcake, aren't you?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm telling you what, we're so glad to have Ninja Kid on the team.
Honestly, doing an exceptional job here at GT Champions, as he is on a clear race lead. Corey Hack is actually lapping around 7/10 less than Ninja Kid. Mazda is actually struggling to keep the pace actually on Corey Hack. Of course, going to take a lap or two to get those softs nice and warmed up for his lap. But you can actually see Mazda on that final corner. That's where he loses a lot of that pace there on that final corner, as he just takes a little bit too much of that sand and really messes up his entire lap there. But he is closing the gap between him and Corey Hack. I'm not too sure if it will last, but so far he is now over 18 seconds behind Ninja Kid, and Ninja Kid is actually, looks like he had himself a little bit of a hiccup, as Corey Hack was able to make up a lot of time there into these corners, as he was around 9.5 seconds, almost 10 seconds behind Ninja Kid. And Corey Hack has actually made around half a second, maybe even a second on this lap. But as the grid is spread out a little bit, ladies and gentlemen, I do want to remind you guys that here at GT Champions, we are both powered and presented by RWB Racing and Hi-Pre. If you guys didn't know, Hi-Pre is a Mexican-based esports team where the members in there have experience in the real-life scenarios, ladies and gentlemen, when it comes from real racing, when it comes from FIA administration, photography, coaching, graphics, all of the sort. Hi-Pre is actually I'm a member of recently. Very, very proud to be with them. Of Hi-Pre does an amazing job. Big shout out for them for doing all of the graphics, specifically Pixteca for running Hi-Pre as well. Big boss, a big teddy bear as well. You gotta love him. And of course at RWB Racing, Cupcake. Do you want to actually give a little quick description of RWB and what you guys do?
RWB, we've been around for a little over 3 years now. Started out as just a small group of casual guys and gals looking to race, and we have done. Hold on, Ninja Kid in the sand. Ninja Kid in the sand. Here comes Corey Hack. Corey Hack. Oh no. We now have a battle for P1.
And I just saw what happened there on the exit. I was looking at the mini-map on the top right. Ninja Kid took a little bit too much of that curb right before the uphill and collects a little bit of sand on the re-entrance. As you can see, there's a little bit of a hiccup.
No.
Ninja Kid now loses the lead, and Corey Hack has taken it. Ninja Kid, he is choking at this point in the race. And Corey Hack, from starting in last place, and not just in last place, but in last place by over 10 seconds at the beginning of this race from a late engine start, now leads this race. Now we need to start talking about driver of the day, and I think Corey Hack has to be up there, even if he doesn't finish in the podium.
Absolutely. Corey Hack had a horrible start to the race in the very beginning, and now 46 minutes in, he is now taking the lead and has a pretty good gap on Ninja Kid at about 1.7 seconds.
And it just proves, like you said earlier, it doesn't matter about the top end speed and the fastest pace. It's whoever makes the least mistakes, and Corey Hack has made absolutely none here today, except for the... Actually, no, he made one, which was the start, but one instead of Ninja Kid's two, back-to-back as well, and that's really going to mess him up, but Corey Hack beautifully takes the lead in this race, and, with Ninja Kid actually spinning out, we actually caught off about what you were saying about RWB Cupcake. So you mind finishing that off?
All good. We gotta focus on the action there. But yeah, started with a few group of guys. We have expanded. Used to be a U.S. only team. We now have members from all over the world. We have done charity events, have raised thousands towards different benefits, charities, you name it. And now we're here helping to run GT Champions, and like I said, I've been a proud member for going on 3 years, and you couldn't ask for a better group of guys to race with.
Were you one of the originals?
I am one of the OGs.
Well, there you go.
Yep.
Love to see that, but of course, ladies and gentlemen, RWB actually... here in GT Champions, tell me if I'm wrong, they actually came up with the whole concept of both the World Cup as well as the Porsche Cup, if I do remember correctly.
Yeah, I'll give you a little backstory on that real quick. Yeah, it actually started as the World GT Cup Challenge at RWB. I was one of the test racers for the mines, you know, being RWB Venom, RWB Gorski. And it was an instant hit. It blew up. We had people all over the world wanting to come join and race, and we all got together. Presidio threw out an idea. Hey, let's make GT champions. Let's make another league. We'll team up, with a bunch of people like High Pre and get this thing rolling. That's how it all started. So, first of all, huge thanks to Venom and Igorski, the two brothers that created this series that has exploded in popularity. And a huge, like I said earlier, huge thanks to High Pre and everyone else that have committed and have worked to make GT Champions one of the, I'm going to say it because I'm biased, probably one of the top tier leagues in the world.
And I couldn't agree more. Here at GT Champions, strive for absolute perfection, but also we focus on a lot of hardworking, but also respectable scenarios here. And just having people come from all over the world, like High Pre being a Mexican based esports team, as Ninja Kid goes into the wall. And now Mazda is going to go into P2. Ninja Kid making the same mistake as the previous laps. He is going to be banging his head against the wall as he spins and again hits the wall. Now reversing
damage to the right front.
You gotta say, a nice J-turn actually. You can appreciate that.
Yeah,
but
all right.
so unfortunate.
Yeah.
So unfortunate.
No.
As Ridwan is going to be catching up as well, and actually Ridwan has been actually a little bit of a a little bit silent in this race, but actually was very close to taking the fastest lap. Of course, the fastest lap is currently with Mazda with a 120.866, where Ridwan, his fastest lap was a 120.874. So the two fastest laps in this race separated by 8 thousandths of a second. And that is what I was talking about in qualifying, ladies and gentlemen, where we saw 3 thousandths of a second separation, 17 thousandths, 44 thousandths. I'm not like two actually that were 3 thousand separations. And it's just going to carry on into the race, either if it's being close to close battles, or even in this case the fastest laps of the race. But I know that Ninja Kid, he's in a tough place right now. Was looking at getting the race win, but unfortunate with his mistakes at Laguna Seca, which is, gotta say, one of the most difficult tracks in the world of Gran Turismo. He has got to be banging his head against his wheel right now. But what he needs to do, he just needs to keep his head up, keep his eyes forward, and keep that foot to the throttle, and he'll be making up with the podium position. And I think that this race is definitely going to be one that would have but couldn't.
Yeah, and if I was Ninja Kid at this point, I would just shoot for staying in third. Make sure Ridwan does not get near you, which, Ridwan is about a second and a half back for Ninja Kid. But at this point, try to salvage that podium position. This is a long race. It's on a difficult track.
Not just that.
Not bad at all.
And not just that as well, not just that it's a long race, but also this is just the beginning of the season. And all of these drivers are very competitive. A lot of them actually coming from the World Cup, actually, from Division 1, from GTC 1 actually, it was called. And they want to aim for the trophy. And all of these drivers giving it their all, and it's not how you start, it is how you finish. And that doesn't just go with the racing, from qualifying, but also in the whole league and season entirely. It's not how you start, it's how you finish, and you want to finish with high hopes, with all on that top step as well. But of course, you want to get that early start to give yourself a little bit of leeway. But that just shows right there that that is not over just yet, ladies and gentlemen. It's not over just yet. Plenty of racing to come from months and months' time. But so far here today, we only have 6 minutes left of racing. And Cupcake, even though we've had our technical difficulties at the beginning, we've had people leave due to it being a little bit later where they are. It's just been an extraordinarily amazing race from start to finish, and honestly, love to have you in the comments box. I've been doing it solo for a long time, but having someone next to me really makes it even more enjoyable. I could definitely say that.
Oh yeah, yeah, and I will say it has been an honor to co-commentate with you. I know the first time, I'll be honest with you, when I watched your first stream, I think it was like last season's World Cup. I believe you were streaming GTC 4?
It was GTC 3, actually.
3, I'm sorry.
No worries.
At Nerd GP. And you just had me, like, sucked in. Just with the commentating. I thought, I need to commentate with this dude, and he needs a raise or something, or... you know what? I'm gonna take you a bucket of KFC. How about that?
Oh, hey, yo, I'll take it! I'll take it, bro! I would definitely appreciate that with open arms. I will send that on Facebook. I'll tag you and everything. But honestly, it's been a long few weeks for me. So just hearing that, to be honest with you, mate, it has been absolutely amazing to hear. And honestly, it makes me blush and it brings the tears to my eye. Like, literally, I am crying because these last few weeks have been horrible for me, for the loss of a pet, to a potential loss of a friend, to a memorial of a friend that's already lost. And honestly, just coming back here, doing commentary, I was actually speaking with Presidio earlier, a few days ago, where he was saying, are you sure you want to come back? Because if you need a little bit more time to actually sit back and like reevaluate and focus on yourself. For me, commentary just brings me out of that whole darkness, brings me out of that whole... And it's just enjoyable to actually just express my I like to call it a talent, my talents of commentary, and honestly, absolutely love it. And all of these drivers, they like, even though they're just even though in their minds they'll probably just be fighting for themselves out there on the track, they've also helped me in many ways without them even realizing. And people from watching it back at home, from GT Champions, people watching it from 12 Ounce Sports Network as well, just really warms my heart. Really does. It really does. And I'll be here till the end of time.
And I tell you what, GT in general, I think has helped a lot of people through difficult situations. Like what you've experienced. I know it, me personally, it helped me through COVID, with the whole quarantine, lockdown. It just got my mind away from, the real life drama and shenanigans, and I think that's why a lot of people race a lot. It's an escape from reality. That's why you have a lot of these leagues with fellow racers. What I tell people, because I'm on Facebook all the time in different GT groups, I have people that post, they ask, hey, any leagues open, yada yada yada, and obviously I'll tell them, hey, RWB, but find a league that fits you.
Exactly.
Because you want to be able to escape from that reality and race with people that you know, and they know you. Kind of like with me. I'm personal friends with a lot of the admins. Actually, I met Presidio in person.
Oh, really?
Yep. He had come up to Cincinnati, and we met up at a location. We went to the store, and this dude's like kid in the candy store, because it's a place called Jungle Gyms. I know we're getting off topic here,
yep, I've known of that place. I've heard of that place.
Oh my gosh, he was geeking out over Japanese Kit Kats, and I mean, Jungle Gyms has anything and everything throughout the whole world. It was a lot of fun hanging out with Presidio, just talking, cutting up, laughing.
And I think that's just makes it bliss as well. To be honest with you, it makes it just even more enjoyable, but also even more worth it. You know what I mean? It just makes it like worth it to actually go into this. But ladies and gentlemen, I think it's coming to around that time where this will be the final lap of the race here, ladies and gentlemen. We have 1 minute left to go, and I think Corey Hack could be taking the race lead, has Mazda right on the tail end. Ninja Kid with his unfortunate spins will lose out on a first place, but could be looking at getting a podium. But you gotta say, all these drivers fighting against the elements as the sun is coming up. Is no more moon, no more nighttime. It is now early morning in the high mountains of Laguna Seca here at the WeatherTech Raceway. Corey Hack started in last place with the abysmal start. Now will be coming around to the final sector for potentially the final time. 10 seconds left on the clock.
Yep.
As Corey Hack makes his way down towards the final corner on blinking red fuel. That is going to be it. The final lap. One last ditch towards the finish line. The checker flag. Corey Hack is going to take it as he gets the race win here tonight. Today's driver of the day. Overtake of the evening. An extraordinary race for Corey Hack.
And
Mazda as well.
Mazda with a very gutsy pit strategy comes home in second. Ninja Kid is going to retain podium position. What a drive by everyone. Webb Smurfer is getting ready to come around. It looks like, well, yeah, this will be his last lap. Looks like he may be coming home in fourth, y'all.
Looks like he is, and he's been doing an exceptional job as well, Webb Smurfer. Ridwan as well, fighting against the elements, but that is going to be the top 5 here, ladies and gentlemen. Ridwan is actually coming home with an extra point. He has gotten the fastest lap here in the previous lap as well, as he crossed with a 120.824. But ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be it. Corey Hack is your winner here today with Mazda and Ninja Kid, and we're going to be hearing from them just shortly for the podium interviews. So don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be right back. with the delay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. If you guys did miss it, we just saw an extraordinary race here at GT Champions for the Porsche Cup Round 2, Division 1 at the WeatherTech Raceway at Laguna Seca. We are here with our third place finisher, Ninja Kid. Ninja Kid, how are you doing, my man?
I'm doing alright. How you doing today?
Beautiful, beautiful. Of course, Ninja Kid, you and Cupcake have been working together at RWB for the longest time. You guys at RWB doing an exceptional job here at GT Champions and behind the scenes in your respective league. How excited were you for today's race?
I was very excited to get it underway, and especially with this track's really fast yet so tricky to get right. But when you do, it just feels so nice. Especially around here at Seca, and since forecasted said that we were gonna have sunny weather, that definitely made it a lot more confident, let's say, to drive this track.
Of course, and you did an exceptional job. Had an early battle with Mazda at the beginning of the race. You actually had a little bit of hiccup at the beginning of the race, actually, where you moved down to P5 behind Ridwan. But you're able to fight yourself back up to P2 at that battle. Then you fought yourself down up to P3 at the end of the race. And would you say that you're satisfied with your performance, or do you think you could have done better?
I could have done better. There's quite a few things I could improve on, and however, I am also satisfied with getting at least a podium. And I feel like, along with the competitors, I feel like third place is a great spot for where I finished.
Cupcake, you have any questions for him?
I do want to say, on behalf of RWB, you did a heck of a job with the race. Had little hiccups at the end, but you know what? You brought it home in third. And that's not an easy task to do for 60 minutes around this track, so you did an absolute banger of a job. But I think you asked all the good questions there, Justin.
I am good at my job.
I knew you were.
Well, actually, I got one good question actually for you. When you saw that Mazda actually had to take a third pit stop, at that point in time, did you think that you were going to win the race?
Yes. At that point in time, when I saw Mazda having to pit once again, looking at the gap between me and I believe Corey, who was in second at the time, I believe that I had it.
And I think I'm gonna be honest with you. I know the reason why you finished in third instead of first. Me and Cupcake over here actually did a little bit of a commentator's curse as we were having you on the screen for a long time, so a lot of pressure on there as well. So we can only apologize as many times as we could. But yeah, I mean, Ninja Kid, would you like to give any shout-outs to the people back at home before we end off?
I'd like to give a shout out to those that are currently watching me, for all my fans and supporting me for what I do, and I love them all. That's the only ones?
And
RWB.
Yeah.
And RWB for supporting.
Of course, but Ninja Kid honestly did an exceptional job. Kicked off the season with the podium finish. Couldn't be more proud. And honestly, I want to see you keep this momentum going until the end. But Cupcake, I think it's time to round off the stream. I think it's time to round off the GT Champions coverage of the GT Champions Porsche Cup, also covered by 12 Ounce Sports Network. Please, a good shout out, a big shout out for them. If you guys want to know anything about what we do here at GT Champions, please make your way down to your Safari, go down to your Google Chrome, Internet Explorer, anything that you use across all different consoles and devices. Go down to gtchampions.com GTChampionsPorsche.com for info and stats. Again, GT Champions Porsche Cup presented by RWB Racing and powered by Hypre. I have been Just Gaming, Justin Silva. Cupcake, thanks again for coming in. Ninja Kid, thank you for coming in for the interviews. And we will see you next week for round 3. From me, it's a lots of love and stay safe, everybody.
Yep.